Alabama has a lot of work to do. Now, here's the beauty. It's week 1. There's a 12-team playoff. You have tons of time to get things addressed. Tons, okay? Lots. But here was what was most disturbing for me in watching some of this game is that some of the things that got them last year, right? Some of the misdirection, some of the stuff with horizontal rushing attack married up with internal rushing attack, married up with poor angles defensively, married up with guys that couldn't really get out of their 2-point stance, kind of waiting to kind of find the ball, couldn't find the ball. All the same things that were somewhat problematic in some of their worst performances defensively last year kind of raised their ugly head again. So look, it got them last year and it got addressed a little bit as the season went along. Now here you are in 2025. Some of the same things that were problematic last year continue to be problematic again. But I look at the quarterback, Ty Simpson. I thought Ty Simpson actually had a solid day. Couple of decisions that I think he'd probably like to have back. A couple of throws that were probably not the most well-advised throws. Did think he had a couple misses on some downfield throws that were just a little bit off the mark, but that's to be expected. Like if you look at Ty Simpson's performance in this game, he was not at all the reason why Alabama lost this football game. Like he did a lot of decent things. I thought the pass protection was suspect from time to time. I didn't think the receivers played great. More on them here in just a minute. I also don't think they were able to get a whole lot going on the run game. So this Alabama team is only going to go as far as their best players. If their best players don't play well, it's going to be challenging for them to get back to the level that they're trying to get to. So if Caden Proctor, their left tackle, has his hands full and is not playing very well, that's a huge problem. If the offensive line, which is supposed to be a strength of the team, is not able to consistently generate enough push, that's going to be a problem. If the wide receivers are not running great routes, that's a huge issue because the wide receivers are supposed to be the strength of the team. Like I said, more on them here in just a minute. I do think that the linebackers need to play a little faster. I also think that there were times where the pass rush really was non-existent. So they got to figure out a way to rush the passer without having to blitz and overload the protection. And then in the secondary, there were just a couple of big mistakes where guys are getting outflanked, their eyes are not in the right place and things like that. Here's the biggest problem, though, with the performance from Alabama this weekend. And it can get addressed. That's the beauty, is all these things can be fixed. There has to be more effort at a few different spots. There are a couple plays in the game. We won't single out individual players, and we certainly won't single out exact moments in the game. But these players know when they watch the tape, they'll be able to look at it. There were times in the game in which a guy was not running with 100% effort to a ball carrier. There was a time or 2 or 3 or 5 where the wide receiver is not running the route at full speed. There were times when guys were kind of gliding out of their break. Ty thinks it's going to be there, and a guy doesn't get his head around because he's not going through it at 100%. So I think that they need to, whether they were fatigued or they were tired from camp or whatever, or maybe they just felt slow, like whatever the day was, they didn't wake up on the right side of the bed, whatever it was, there needs to be a little bit better finish, I think, from wide receivers and DBs in particular as they're moving forward in the season. And part of that gives credit to Florida State because they were able to create confusion. But a lot of that has to do with just effort and just finishing and doing things like that. And if they do a better job of that, they will be in a great position. But there were a couple big plays created because of poor angles by defenders and a lack of full speed finish by some of the guys on the defensive side. And then there were a few plays left on the field because wide receivers weren't where they were supposed to be when Ty thought they were going to be there. So a lot to clean up, but all things that are very fixable, but it needs to get addressed quickly because it doesn't get much easier for the Tide with Wisconsin coming to town in a couple weeks and then Georgia 4 weeks from now.